Yep, this one. Alright. So I have the Raven Bazooka Amazon. Um, Interesting. Required level 10. Wow. Um, Probably in this video I'll just go ahead and do Act 4. But I'll have to see. I guess I don't know what to spend my stats on. That's fine. I'm going to be respecking anyway, so ultimately I guess it doesn't really matter. I should probably pick Valkyrie. Did I do this? Did I do that? Yeah. Did I do? I did. Okay. Anyway, so this is the Travancore Hopeful character. Apparently the outer steps are abandoned. Okay, we have reached the point where players 8 mobs do not die in one hit from the Raven Bazooka. It was earlier than I remember, but my memory is pretty bad about such things, so let's see, my mealworms, that project is on hold, or project, hobby maybe, because I had split the bin into 2 bins, and one of the bins got fruit flies real bad, and it has maggots in it. So I put that one in the freezer, and it's all going to die. And the other one, I saw a few fruit flies in there, so I put them in the refrigerator. I know the mealworms can live through the refrigerator for like at least a week. Or I say I know that. I've read that. I haven't done it myself. And I think ultimately when I take them back out, if they're still alive, or if they're not, then the next time I order some, I need to be more prepared to do the process in a way that I know works better, rather than just kind of sticking them in a bucket and hoping for the best. Fruit flies and their larvae come in the fruit you buy at the store, so that's probably how I got them, from the banana peels. And then, let's see what else. What was I even talking about? Fruit flies and banana peels. Oh yeah, I'll be buying like some glass jars instead of just these old plastic buckets. Like mason jars with screw-on lids and like cheesecloth. Um, and then being more particular about what I feed them, or maybe like sterilizing what I feed them first. Like, oh, you're gonna feed them a banana peel? Feed them a cooked banana peel. That kind of thing. And the mason jar, I know they can live in mason jars because we did that in high school. And then just put them in a dark place. Try to keep their population relatively low compared to their container size. And Plains of Despair, is this where Isuel is? Yes. And so basically do it right instead of just like, oh, well, I'll just put the minimal amount of effort possible and see what happens. So now I've seen what happens. They get sad. Well, they get fruit flies is what they get. So Um, so I think it's not necessarily like, oh, I failed at the mealworms. It's more, I learned how to do better next time. Oh, I need to talk to this ghost. Thank you.
Goodbye, Iswal.
Iswal. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, what did I eat for dinner today? So of course, a half a gallon of milk. Um, and then I had, because I had those pieces of liver in my freezer, and one of them I had opened yesterday because I was going to eat it, but then I decided not to because I had the fish. Um,
What do you need?
so I wanted to make sure I use that liver before it gets freezer burn, and so I did use it. I used it for, oh yeah, I put it with one whole onion in water and I boiled it. Yum. And then I added some salt. Um, and then also I bought cottage cheese, but when I opened it, it looked a bit off. Like it didn't look right. And so I just put that in the freezer to be thrown away later. And then, what else did I get? Oh yeah, I bought a bag of frozen blueberries. And the blueberries were going to go with the cottage cheese, and so instead I just used some of that milk. Um, and I haven't eaten the whole bag yet, but I probably will before I go to sleep. I've only eaten like half of my dinner so far, and I'll eat the other half after I finish playing either Act 4 or the River of Flame or however far I decide to go. I don't know that I want to do Diablo tonight. Uh, so I'll probably just stop at the River of Flame waypoint. Um, I was out of the house for 14 hours today. I got home after dark, but the sun was up when I left, so that was new and unusual. Now, granted, the sun is coming up earlier, but I left later than normal, so that was nice. I got to sleep in a little on a work day, and then I got home at 8:30 p.m. So uh, we got rid of a guy at work today, and then got rid of him after we left, apparently. And I had been tasked with uh, retraining, I guess. So I'll be changing how I handle some of the tasks and this person. So we'll see how it goes. I hope it goes well, not because, of any like particular desire for this person specifically, but just because I like for people to do well. But so far,
I need
he's
a key.
been difficult to train.
I need a key.
I think one of the kind of problems that the company has, and this is probably true for many companies, is the amount of effort they want the employee to produce is much higher than what the wage they give could reasonably expect. So like, then they get someone like me who works hard because I work hard and not because of the particular pay. Or not even about the pay, but so much as I guess many people who, maybe even most people who are willing to just gung-ho all the time, will also take the effort and time to find a really good job where they will get paid what they are worth, leaving the low-paying jobs with, you know, low-effort people, generally. So, I mean, I think it all kind of makes sense. And that's one thing that employers don't like. I am not the employer, but I am in a supervisory position over my coworkers, although we generally do the same task. So I wouldn't say that I'm a boss, but some people would say that, I guess. So, you know, I'll try again, try to retrain him, and see how it goes. Like I said, I want everyone to do well. I think I said that. But if someone doesn't do well, I'm not gonna like lose sleep over it. What else? Let's go ahead. Finish it off. I'll probably drop down to Players 1 for Diablo. Because I don't really want to spend a lot of time on that fight or effort, like kiting. I dislike kiting a lot. Like that, even that is kind of the limit of how much kiting I'm okay with. But like dodging the pink lightning hose for 15 minutes, not really something I'm interested in doing. And his fire resist is probably pretty high anyway, and since basically all of my damage is fire, you know. Let's see, what else? I don't know. Oh yeah, I answered a bunch of YouTube comments. Someone had mentioned Eastern Sun, the mod for Diablo 2. Maybe I mentioned it. I mentioned it, and then they replied about it. Yeah, that's it. And so Eastern Sun is a Diablo 2 mod where if you want to play a game that feels and plays like Diablo 2 without losing the spirit of the game, uh, or dramatically changing everything. Uh, Eastern Sun is a good for that. I think it's similar change from like 1.06 to the expansion, or from 1.09 to patch 1.10, which was really big. That was a big change. I think Eastern Sun is kind of analogous in change to those, and it was done really well, in my opinion. It doesn't really change, it does change the skill trees a little bit, but not super crazy. It's not like Median XL where it's basically another game painted on Diablo. Uh, it feels like either an overhaul patch or an expansion pack, and I really enjoyed it. I stopped playing when I accidentally corrupted my install. Uh, I had two install directories for Diablo 2. One was my Trend Shadow folder, and the other was Eastern Sun. And I kept them separate, and I would zip one folder while playing the other, and vice versa, and like unzip to play. Like zip Eastern Sun so I could play 1.07, and then zip all of Trend Shadow and unzip Eastern Sun. Because the install didn't work well overwriting on Trend Shadow. And then one time I launched Eastern Sun, forgetting to, or maybe it's the other way around. I think I launched a Trend Shadow, forgetting to re-zip Eastern Sun, and a lot of the files got overwritten because the Diablo 2 aggressively searches your file tree for any Diablo 2 directories to draw information from. And it found some and wrote to them. Oops, I didn't want to pick that. And once after I corrupted the install, I was like, it's fine. I don't need to play this anymore. I wasn't. I would say that the infinite grind at the end has potential to be even more grindier. And I only had one build that could even complete Uber levels, and it did not complete them quickly. It completed them, period. Why is he like running off somewhere? I did, run through and finish Nilithak's domain once, and it was a Creeping Doom druid. Creeping Doom in that game is a new skill, which is like ridiculously mega OP, and that was the only build that I could complete the Uber levels with. It has like I think it uses like the charged bolt mechanic for sending out little like bugs across the floor, and like instead of a charged bolt blob, it's like a pile of bugs, and the bugs have no next hit delay and stun. So when you get a fan, like this in front of you of these guys, then every monster in a narrow pathway, or even not narrow. So like if I was shooting here, then everything here is going to be stunned until it dies. So that was the build that I was able to complete the Uber levels with. And even then, it wasn't like a given. It was tough for me. But you know, overall, I think it's a very nice mod. Oh, he's fire immune. Uh-oh. Here, take a potion. Don't die. Do I have any? Nope, no other skills. My favorite thing to do with him was bail runs, because he could instantly stun the entire bail wave for any of the monsters that were stunnable. Uh, he does throw minions that are not stunnable. Uh, I think the uber level that he struggled with the most, well, nah, yeah, probably just Nillifax domain. Uh, but the one that I actively avoided for being extra special dangerous for me was the Marsh of Pain, which is just the Great Marsh in Hell. And it can spawn Duriel as like just a mob, and the mob can upgrade to champion or elite, and so you can have like a named Duriel mob with a pack of Duriel minions, so that can be pretty tough. So like extra fast, extra strong, lightning enchanted Duriel with 4 Duriel minions. It's a bit spooky. If you play that game and you want to make the grind a bit less grindy uh, for finding some of the consumables, you can download the, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's a patch made by people on the Something Awful forum,
What
where
do
they
you
made
need?
some of the uh, consumables into guaranteed drops from certain mobs. You don't. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say he doesn't even have arrows. Uh,
Good evening.
and so I played that one for a bit, um, but ultimately I lost interest in it over time and came back to regular Diablo 2 after not playing for a long, long time. I think I took like a 10-year break or like an 8-year break, something like that. Look at this kiting. We did it. Hmm. It's a cool drop. You know, lots of yellow, lots of shinies. So I suppose that's probably the screenshot or the thumbnail. Last night's thumbnail was amazing. Just a screenshot of of Atma loading screen. Amazing.
Hi, good evening.
Alright. Let's go activate all the townspeople and then
Hi,
quit.
good to see you.
I hope the talk about work didn't bother you all too much with like the training and stuff. I just talk about what's on my mind. I know it's not the most interesting subject, and perhaps can bring some negative ideas and memories back to you from your own life, and that's not my goal. But yeah, it is what it is. Oh, I'm pressing B. I want to press C. Q. Okay.